Ancient Egypt is often remembered as a civilization of mystery, monuments, and unchanging traditions. Images of towering pyramids, golden masks, and rigid hierarchies dominate our imagination. But beneath these familiar symbols lies a far more complex, surprising, and human society than most people realize. Tonight, we are exploring 10 shocking facts about ancient Egypt that challenge modern assumptions and reveal a civilization that was innovative, adaptable, and deeply misunderstood. The first surprise begins with the pyramids themselves. Contrary to one of the most enduring myths, the pyramids were not built by enslaved masses whipped into submission. Archaeological evidence tells a different story. The builders of the Great Pyramid were skilled laborers, many of them Egyptian citizens who worked in organized teams. Their villages contained bakeries, medical facilities, and sleeping quarters. Their bones show signs of healed injuries, indicating access to medical care. These workers were fed, housed, and honored for their labor, not discarded. Building the pyramids was not merely physical work, it was sacred service tied to belief, identity, and cosmic order. The second fact reshapes how we think about ancient Egyptian technology. Despite lacking iron tools, wheels for transport, or advanced machinery, Egyptians achieved engineering feats that still challenge modern understanding. Stone blocks weighing several tons were quarried, transported, and placed with astonishing precision. The Great Pyramid is aligned to the cardinal directions with remarkable accuracy. This was not the result of lost technology or supernatural intervention, but of planning, mathematics, geometry, and generations of accumulated knowledge. What seems impossible today was achievable through patience, organization, and human ingenuity. The third revelation involves the role of women in ancient Egypt. Compared to many later civilizations, Egyptian women enjoyed a surprising degree of legal and economic independence. Women could own property, initiate divorce, inherit wealth, and operate businesses. They appeared as witnesses in legal documents and could manage estates. While society was still patriarchal, Egyptian women were not legally invisible. Queens such as Hatshepsut ruled as pharaohs, not merely regents. Ordinary women exercised rights that would disappear in many cultures for thousands of years afterward. The fourth fact challenges assumptions about ancient Egyptian medicine. Far from relying solely on magic and superstition, Egyptian physicians practiced observational medicine. Medical papyri describe diagnoses, treatments, and prognoses. Doctors specialized in different parts of the body. They treated wounds, set bones, and performed surgical procedures using copper tools. While spiritual beliefs were intertwined with healing, practical knowledge played a major role. Some remedies were ineffective, but others were surprisingly advanced, including the use of honey as an antibacterial agent and moldy bread to prevent infection. The fifth shock comes from diet and nutrition. Ancient Egyptians did not survive on simple bread and water alone. Their diet included vegetables, fruits, fish, poultry, and beer, which was safer to drink than untreated water. Workers received rations designed to maintain strength and health. Analysis of remains shows that pyramid builders consumed protein-rich foods, contradicting the image of starving laborers. Food was both sustenance and social glue, shared during festivals and religious ceremonies that reinforced community bonds. The sixth fact overturns the idea of ancient Egypt as a rigidly static civilization. Over its long history, Egypt experienced political collapse, foreign rule, religious upheaval, and economic strain. Dynasties rose and fell, capital cities moved, gods gained and lost prominence. Even the famous practice of mummification evolved over time, becoming more elaborate during certain periods and simpler during others. Egypt survived not because it never changed, but because it adapted while preserving core beliefs about order and balance. The seventh revelation concerns religion itself. Egyptian religion was not a single, uniform system imposed from above. It was local, flexible, and deeply personal. Different regions worshiped different gods, sometimes in conflicting forms. Ordinary people prayed, made offerings, and sought divine protection in daily life, not just during grand temple rituals. The afterlife was not reserved for elites alone. Over time, beliefs about judgment and the soul became more accessible, reflecting social changes and shifting moral values. The eighth fact addresses literacy and knowledge. While literacy was limited compared to modern standards, Egypt had a professional class of scribes who were highly respected. Scribes managed administration, recorded history, and preserved religious texts. Education involved years of training and discipline. Writing was power. Yet Egyptians also relied heavily on oral tradition, memory, and visual symbolism. Knowledge was transmitted through multiple channels, not confined to books or elites alone. The ninth surprise lies in ancient Egypt's relationship with foreigners. Egypt traded extensively with neighboring regions, importing gold, incense, timber, and luxury goods. Foreigners lived within Egypt, sometimes rising to high positions. While Egyptians viewed themselves as culturally distinct, they were not isolated. They absorbed influences, adapted technologies, and occasionally ruled over or were ruled by outsiders. Egypt was both proud and pragmatic, balancing identity with exchange. The final fact challenges how we interpret ancient Egyptian death rituals. Mummification was not about preserving the body for display or curiosity. It was about transformation. Death was not an end, but a transition. Tombs were designed as eternal homes, filled with objects meant to sustain life beyond the grave. Even modest burials reflected care and belief. The obsession was not with death itself, but with continuity, the idea that existence, order, and identity could endure beyond a single lifetime. Together, these 10 facts reveal a civilization far more nuanced than popular culture suggests. Ancient Egypt was not a land of mystery, sustained by secrets alone. It was a society built by people workers, farmers, doctors, scribes, women, men united by belief, shaped by environment, and driven by the desire to create permanence in an uncertain world. History often simplifies the past into symbols, but when we look closer, the truth is rarely less impressive. It is simply more human. If you enjoy exploring history beyond the myths, consider subscribing for more documentaries like this.